Greetings and welcome back to Drassier TMD. My name is Drassier and you're watching Let's Play Space Engineers Survival. That's right, so today we've got some stuff to do. The sun is rising and I have a few things I want to get done. So last time I mentioned something about wanting to automate the drills a little bit. I think that I can still do that. It's only just started its cycle, so it's not a big deal if I just let it run there for a second while I build a little something that I think will work. My initial idea was to actually build a system that would let's see, let's plug that there. A system that would, I guess, just a script, a programmable block with a script that would do everything that I wanted for me. However, in this instance, I'm not quite sure how to program it. I'm just not that clever. And I did try to figure it out using a, like a, what was it called, visual script editor. And that's a nice program. It can definitely help you with simple things. Speaking of which, I can't even find the thing that I probably don't even have on my system here. So let's go ahead and put one of these down. This is just basically to make it easy for me to access whatever I need to control on this as I go. Okay, so let's go ahead and rename this so we know which one it is. Whoops, the light's gone weird, hang on. There we go. Sorry about that, my lamp is sometimes a little bit temperamental. Okay. Rotor, I guess we could call this drill control. Drill control to Major Tom. And then while we're there, actually, one of the things I wanted to do was add a small rotor head. Just need some large steel tubes, I'll be right with you. There we go, that sorts that out. Now, we're also going to need to add a couple of timers. I say a couple because there's actually a bit of an issue with getting, let's see, timer goes there. Yeah, let's just plonk it. Oh, actually I like that. Probably going to cover it up anyway. We're going to need one, at least two, possibly another one, but we'll see how it goes to begin with. Now, the first one, in fact, let's go ahead and move the controller here. Not that it matters if there's still one there or not, but still. Okay, now we're going to look for timer. Timer block, this one's going to be, let's see, nice and simple. Drill piston extend 1. And drill piston extend 2. The reason why, and I'll show you, I want to do it this way, is if I go to groups and I've got my drill head pistons right here and I tell it to extend the pistons or increase the maximum distance, I can do that. That's great. The problem is it will only do it by an increment of 5, so no problem, I'll just add it again, right? To do it twice. For some reason it moves it instead of actually adding it twice. I think it's to prevent people accidentally doing it twice, but whatever. So let's go ahead and remove that from that one and put that back where it was. Increase maximum distance, and then what we're going to have it do is we're going to have it run the second timer, so extend 2. We're going to do this one trigger now, it doesn't even need a timer. And then we are going to go to the second timer. Don't need to worry about the delay on this one. Well, we'll just set it to 0 just to make sure. Setup actions, groups. Bring this one back down again. This will be another half increment, so it will be going 1 every time now. Once this is finished, back to this one, and then we're going to have this one run start. So it'll start the countdown for the next cycle on the first one, and that is what we'll set up just now. Back to this one. We want the delay on number 1 to be 1 minute and 30 seconds, which I believe is 90. Yes, it is. It counts it in just straight seconds rather than in minute and second increments. And then that's it. We could actually go ahead and trigger this now. It's going to start counting, and what it should have done is extended these pistons. Yes, look at that, they actually have moved forward, and to prove it, when I last looked at it, it was 1. If I look at the piston now, it's set to 2. So what will happen is every 1 minute and 30 seconds, those pistons will extend out by 1. So I can leave this here running all by itself until it's done. I can also, if I wanted to, once it reaches a certain point, I could add another timer to count from the time I start the system going, however many times that is, up to 10 times, plus the actual time I want it to run at least once it's at its full extension. Then I can have it reset, turn off the initial timer, and then retract the pistons and turn off the drill so it's ready to go, or till it's, you know, all set. I could also mess with these pistons to make it so that it automatically drops down if I was going to drill out everything here, but all I'm going to do is drill out this pass right here. Then I'm going to manually move it down to where this magnesium is and do the same thing again. I don't want all that rock. All I want is the nickel, and in particular the magnesium. But this is going to run all by itself, and in a second or two, now that I've been rambling, this should move out all by itself. And it'll be magical, because, yeah, I don't usually do things like this, but getting something to work automatically is a lot of fun. There it goes, look at that, and it went only as far as I told it to. That's fantastic. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll set up a third timer then, since that'll make things a bit easier. Fortunately we have all the pieces we need, and they're only small blocks, so it doesn't take a whole lot. We'll go into the control panel, we'll look for the next timer, drill, piston, reset. Okay, and now this one, we're actually going to have to add this to the first timer so that it'll start the timer on this block to go for, let's see, if it starts at the first position and the timer starts, it'll be up to 10 different, would it be 11 though? Let me think about this and I'll get back to you. So all told, that comes to 15 minutes. But just to make sure, we're going to set this to 15 minutes 30. So 15 times 60 is 900 seconds. Hope that it allows that. Yes, it does. Oh, 930 though. Okay, so let's do that. 900. Whoops. Well, don't tell me that's the maximum it can do. 30. There we go. And then, unknown signal. Setup actions. I want that one to drill piston extend. I want it to stop. I want it to stop the drills. Actually, let's have it extend or retract these first. Not that it matters. Escape. Retract. And then deactivate the drills. And I think that's it. Then it should be at rest. So this one will have to be start. The timer will start. It'll stop this one from working. It'll go to there, 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 and there. And then we'll put this one at the beginning of this one. Piston drill. Oh my goodness. Not trigger now because that'll reset me. We want to start the timer. Then we want the groups, this one, piston head, to increase maximum distance. Then we want the timer, the second timer, trigger now. Okay, I think we've got everything. So hopefully then once this reaches the, well, I mean not this time around because I haven't started at the beginning, but once that timer is finished it'll reset everything ready to go. The only thing it won't do is it will not reset the distance on the piston I'll have to do that manually unless I can figure out a way to tell. I suppose I could put a programmable block on there and run that to set the piston maximum distance back down to 1 as part of its cycle of reset. That I can do actually through the Visual Basic script. I don't want to have to use that because it tends to create very bulky programs, but I just don't know how to do it myself. Anyway, I've spent too long on that. That is going to run by itself. I'm going to leave that, and while that's going, I need to modify. Whoops! Oh, it's a I thought it was a ramp. I need to modify the Rhino because, as it turns out, I tried getting up here. It's actually too low slung to get up one of these ramps, and so it'll scrape against it every time it gets up here, and it's actually offset enough that it's not gonna work as far as connecting the connector to the connector port on the base itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this up. Let's go ahead and put this on the bar, shall we? Groups, lifting pistons. Why does it look like that? Let's have a look. Control panel, lifting pistons, steering. What on earth is going on here? Weird. For some reason it was... Okay, so let's go ahead and add those. Add. Remove. Weird. Okay, save that. Remove. Okay, yeah, weird. For some reason it wouldn't let me remove the things that were in it originally. So that's now just the lifting pistons. Group. I want to put that, I guess we'll put in 2. Reverse. Look at that. Okay, and now I can work on this. And all I'm going to do is I'll show you really quick the beginning of it. I'm just going to take... Whoops. That's not gonna get me anywhere. I'm going to... Whoops. Oh gosh. I'm not thinking straight. I'm just going to bring those back, drop one of these down here. I'm going to take the entire wheel and set it down 1 more block. That should be enough for what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to have to modify this because it's not nearly big enough for the Rhino to get up anyway. So I'm going to continue with this, and I'll be right with you. All right. So I've already got the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and take these off, and then I'm going to put them back. Except that I put it on the wrong way around. Yeah, I'll fix that, and I'll be right with you. I say that a lot, don't I? At some point I'd like to add proper indicator lights and stuff like that to the various vehicles, but it's one of those things that really isn't necessary in a game like this, so I just haven't. But now that I'm doing things like automating the drill cycle, I kind of want to get into that sort of thing. I think it would be fun. Alright, so that's raised up. Let's go ahead and drop it back down. There we go. Let's add a few more things to the hotbar. See, this is connector. This should be the front one, so let's go ahead and use that one. Switch lock. What else do we need? We've got the parking brake on, we've got the connector. Oh, we should add a way to increase and decrease the wheels, shouldn't we? The height offset, because that'll make it easier to adjust if there is a problem with that. Let's go ahead and do that. What am I doing? I need to go into the control panel first. Control panel, select all. Let's just call it something simple like wheels. Save. Go back to the G menu, groups, wheels, excellent. So let's go ahead and put, let's see, height offset. So decrease at the bottom, or the back is what my usual method of doing this sort of thing. And then increase height offset. Although which way round is it? Let's find out. 6 and 7. Okay. Oh, but since I've reset everything, I'm also going to need to set the wheels back up again so that they have a strength. Oh, oof. Okay, yep. Let's do 30 for that. Height offset is at the very bottom. Let's see how that does. Not change that. Oh, and I need to take these one's here. And undo the steering. Let's make sure they're actually the right ones. Yes, perfect. Okay, handbrake off. Oops, that was R, not 4. And then yes, we are definitely going to have to increase the height, decrease the height on that and also extend it outwards. So I will take care of that, and I shall return, as opposed to be right with you, which I just said. Actually, while I'm grinding this stuff, I wanted to say thank you to Tech Fusion again for your help and input on some of the projects I've been working on, in particular with the programming stuff, because he was the one who suggested, you know, just doing timers instead of using a program. And also JC, who was helping as well to kind of walk through that sort of stuff. Appreciate both of you. Who else? Oh, okay. Meridius9/Lucas. I apparently didn't realize they are actually one and the same person, and I thanked them separately somehow in one of my last videos. That was kind of dumb. So, proper credit where credit is due. Lucas/Meridius9. Yeah. I was using a script of theirs, and I apparently cited them incorrectly. Let's go ahead and stop ourselves right there. Okay, so we've got the ramp in place. I did not put the parking brake on, whoops. It could have rolled away on the flat surface, I'm sure. Oh dear. Okay, so now the whole point of this, and I must admit I have not been doing this lately, is I actually wanted to be able to see it in this mode, so I could see. Whoa! Oh, it's not good. No, am I locked on there? I don't know. Because I kind of want to get away from using third person all the time, but I use it all the time, and that tends to be more for cinematic purposes than anything. Let's drop this down. Oh, look at that. Okay, so about 22 centimeters, maybe a little bit higher. What was it, 6 to decrease it? It's weird. It's kind of backwards. You'd think decrease would lower it down, but I guess it's the offset from the middle, and it could be plus or minus something. Yes, okay, that does make some sense, but it's a little bit weird already, all the same. Now, if I connect this, the base is likely to want to drain. Actually, no, it's not, because it's already... Okay, in fact, I will do this because it'll charge it up. And I was right about connector 4 being the correct one, so that's good. And then, well, while we're here, let's actually check the batteries. Whoops, batteries. That's these two. These two, I should say. Oh, it won't let me do it both at the same time. Fully recharged in 12 hours. So it is actually gaining power from the thingamajig. Can I turn off the lights without... I'll do that later when it's actually disconnected. Sometimes it's just easier to wait and let it disconnect by itself. Has it gone through an entire cycle? It looks like it has, or at least has it gone through this? I think this is as far as it will go, and I think it's already gone around enough times. Drill position 10, yes, that's exactly what we want. However, it's left a little groove right here. I'm going to raise it up 1 or 2. Let's see, that one's already full extended, that one's full extended. Is there another one that we... Yes, we did. Let's go back this one off all the way to the back, all the way to its original position. So let's just go ahead and reverse it. And let's go ahead and... Uh-oh. Oh, no, get out of there, get out of there. Ooh, that was close. Not paying attention to my fuel consumption. So let's go ahead and... that's partly why, because I didn't take my hydrogen bottles out after I was done refueling. That's a terrible mistake to make. That's another thing though. A lot of people seem to think that... Okay, so we did get to make that work. Let's see if this is up far enough. Yeah, that'll do. I'm not going to worry about that too much, so I'm going to let it do one more pass, and then I'm going to drop the piston down. It's quite a ways, isn't it? Let's have a look. Sorry, I'm mid-thought, and I just did the same thing again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, it might just require a full extension. So what we'll do is once, you know, approximately a minute has passed, we'll drop that all the way down, although I'll need to bring the pistons back in first. And hopefully it'll be close to where the magnesium is, and we can adjust it after that. What was I saying? Oh, using jetpacks, because as far as I know, there's no system in planning that is capable of allowing sustained flight by a human being that, you know, weighs approximately between 180, 200 pounds or whatever. Was it 150, 180? I forget what the average is these days. Sustained flight plus the actual gear that you wear in the suit, those things are not light. And basically being able to fly. It's technically unrealistic, but then there's a lot of elements to this that are unrealistic. I know that the developers were trying to go for something that was at least akin to, you know, technologies that we either have or will have in the future, but the ion engines themselves, they don't produce as much power and nearly as much acceleration as they do in real life as they do in the game. But again, it's a game. But I guess it just comes down to use what the game gives you, and I'm adding a little few extras here with the mods and stuff. Okay, that should be good enough. Let's go ahead and... Oh, that's right. I need to focus and make sure I do this right. So let's go in here, just for the sake of argument. Let's go to the drills. Drill head pistons. Let's go ahead and reverse them. That will bring them all the way back in. I want to set the maximum distance on this thing back to 1, but do I want to wait until it's actually... Because it's either the rotors or the pistons that if you do this too quickly and it passes by that threshold... Okay, no, it's not those, that's fine. It will cause some serious issues. It'll suddenly jump and all kinds of mess will ensue. So this piston, maximum distance 10. Let's just go 10 and see what happens. And drop this down. Whoop. I guess the reason I'm rambling about the whole, like, you know, realism versus gaming stuff is I'm eventually going to want to add things that will even further remove from the realism, you know. Potentially down the line I wanted to add shields and laser weapons and stuff like that, and this is far into the future, like when I get to the point where I'm actually approaching the alien planet, for instance, and we haven't even left Earth yet, so it's going to be a while before we can do that. I also wanted to add the build and repair system. Makes things easier, but again, not until later, because part of the fun of space engineers is trying to solve these problems and these challenges. But once I've done it a couple of times in different ways, I mostly just kind of want to build, and one of the best things to do to make that easier is use something like the build and repair system. Okay, so this is doing a pass right now. What should happen if I press this button over here, which I don't actually have a button, which I could set that up, but I'm not going to. I want to go to the reset timer, oddly enough. No, I don't. I want to go to... Oh, I'm getting all turned around here. Let's just go to timer. Piston. Let's make sure this is correct. Set up actions. Start the reset, which will run for 15 minutes. Let's start. That's piston's trigger now is what we want. Yes. So I think all I have to do here is start. Oh, it's about to actually... Oh wow, that was actually lucky. Huh, but it didn't do anything. Why is that? Okay, let's leave the drills going. Let's leave the rotor turning. Let's go to the timer. Oh, the reset one is actually in motion. Okay, so let's stop that one. Silent. 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 Okay, so what we want to do now, I think what was happening was it was trying to extend, but it kept getting reset, maybe? That would have only been run every 15 minutes. Okay, let's make sure we've got this right, because I would hate to cause some problems here. Silent, let's actually stop that. That one's already stopped. Okay, setup actions. It starts with the reset timer, which is going to count for 15 minutes 30 seconds. The next thing it's going to do is extend the piston head out. It's already done that, apparently up to 3. Oh, but it's not in reverse, so that's why it's not working. Okay, so we are going to have to reset everything. So let's go back to... It's a good thing we looked at this, because it would have been wrong and it would have caused some problems, I'm sure. Pistons, drill head pistons. Yep, it's already, the maximum distance is too big already. 1 we want it to start at, and then we want to reverse. Then we want to go to the timer, this one, and we want to start. So that's counting down 1 minute 30 seconds. That's going to get triggered now when it's supposed to. This one, oh, okay, so that one won't actually start until... I see the problem here. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of refining, but I think I can do that. I'm not going to make you watch me go, the whole time. I've already done that far too much as it is. But that's okay. The next time it runs, it'll actually start that timer, and it won't matter too much if it runs too long before it actually resets, because at least then it will get everything on this pass. Then what we'll do is, once it's done that and it's stopped and it's returned to its normal position, we will extend the pistons down a bit more to get the next pass and start the process over again. But anyway, that's what I was hoping to do the last episode and never did, because I was kind of daunted, to be honest, about how I was going to manage that. The other thing I wanted to do today, I already took care of the Rhino. Oh, I wanted to add some tanks to this, because we're going to be getting a lot of... what do you call it? A lot of ice, and it'll be nice to just turn that into hydrogen. I do not have any steel plate on me. Yes, I do. Why won't that allow me to do that? I will. I just didn't get the right spot there. There we go. Now I should have enough in my inventory, if I can find the correct thing. Whoops. To place down welders. Whoops. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start from here, shall we? And what I'm going to do is the same trick I did before. I'm going to build these up, set them to welding, and it'll weld up everything automatically. Ooh, we are actually lacking some construction components. That's no problem, because now that this is done, we can steal them from here. We'll be taking those down anyway, so what does it matter? Okay. While that's going, I may as well go ahead and remove things from this one. Okay, those tanks are all done. Okay, so control panel, new tanks. So it'll be 4, 5, and 6. I want all of you to be on... Oh, why won't it let me do it from there? Whatever. Stockpile, stockpile, stockpile. I think what I'm going to have to do next, though I'm loath to do it, but since the sun is out, I'm going to add some more solar collection, and I'm going to extend it out this way because the sun's going to come up, go over, and go that way. And if I put it on either side, eventually this big building is going to get in the way. So I'm going to set down some parts for this. And I'm pretty much going to replicate, I don't know where it is. Is it back over there? Where's my base? It's that one. Replicate what I did over there. Just a small, simple solar system, solar collection system that won't interfere too much with the rest of the base. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take care of that and let the drill run, and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay. So, I've got the solar array up and running. I think I've put the solar towers, first of all, too close together, and this one is too close to the the base right here. So I may end up having to move this one further over. I won't worry about it right now. Right now they're okay and they're collecting power, so I'm going to leave them to it. So much power, in fact, that the batteries should be charged in much less time. 3 hours. Fantastic. That's actual literal hours too, not any game speeding up or slowing down or whatever. Oh, that's right. I was going to tell you guys about this conundrum right here. So I made a bit of a mistake. I think I pointed it out, or I will have once I'm done editing, pointed out that this was a mistake. If we look at here at the setup actions, I actually took it away. What it was doing was it was resetting this every single time. I'm going to go ahead and redo this really quick. I want groups, go ahead, pistons, increase maximum distance, and then blocks, timer, 2, trigger now. Okay. Those two are going to have to be separate all by themselves on one button, and I'm going to set this button panel up in just a second here. This one will have to be its own button too, because what was happening was the first one, every time it went for 1 minute 30 seconds, it would get to the end, it would cycle the second timer, which would trigger now immediately to extend the piston the rest of the way. Then it would immediately go back to the beginning of the first timer, which the first thing it was told to do was to start the long timer. The long timer was constantly being reset. It never had a chance to reach the bottom. So for now, what I'm going to do is separate them out on this button panel to make it so that that doesn't happen. So setup actions on this one, let's go ahead and remove everything. Whoops. Remove. Start, stop. Let's go ahead and remove and remove. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the first timer, timer 1, or timer extend, drill extend, or whatever it's called. That one's going to be trigger now. That can trigger immediately. Then the second one, the reset, is going to start, and that will start its timer. So the first one will trigger right away and go through its cycle 1 and 2. The other one will start its timer and go all the way down, and I'm going to have to set up the actions of the timer block itself to make sure those are all good. In fact, what we can just do is make this straight 900. We don't have to worry about it being 30 seconds or anything like that. Setup actions. Currently it's set to stop the first block, which is exactly right, to retract, I believe that is, the pistons, to stop the drills, and then the reset stop. In fact, it doesn't even need to do that, because once it's gone through its cycle it shouldn't do anything else. He says, as he said so confidently before, not to worry, not to worry. Okay, so what we're going to do then is let's go see where we are on this. That's been drilled out. This is only just started, so we can actually, while it's in this position, go ahead and start the cycle. So trigger now and start. But of course, one of the things I keep forgetting, let me go ahead and stop everything, is that not everything's getting reset. So I told you I wouldn't make you watch this again, but I wanted to explain that the mistake I've made and why it was doing what it was doing. So let's stop that. Let's stop this as well. Just so that we can make sure it works, let's go ahead and just switch the drills on. These pistons need to be set back to a maximum distance of 1. sorry, 0 is fine actually. Velocity of 0.5. Okay, so now everything's reset. Let's make sure everything's working. It's been set down. Now when we trigger now, it'll extend it out for 1 and start this timer. So let's go and have a look. Oh, almost hit the wrong button there and died. So it's extended out for 1 and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So at a minute 30 it'll extend out and keep doing it, and of course the long timer is going to be counting down at the same time, and when the long timer gets done it will switch everything off and reset it. Yeah. And I guess we'd have to have a button to start the drills again as well, because if we put that in the first timer it would constantly be recycling. This is in my head it kind of makes sense and I've got bits and pieces of it, but clearly I have missed a few crucial points that ended up causing some problems. Anyway, but now that's set up, I can leave that running and it's not going to hurt anything, even if it does stop itself, or even if it doesn't reset. It's not going to hurt anything the way I've got it set up, in theory. I do have a very serious storage problem at the moment, which is part of the reason why I was trying to use up the ice to... oh no, we're doing okay now. Yeah, what was happening, I'm just going to type in cargo to show you. So this is almost full. This one's full, this one's full, this one's full. Oh my gosh, this one's getting better because it's obviously draining ice. Is it draining ice? Oh, what's it doing? It's adding nickel. Oh good, so that one's actually filling up, even better. That of course is the problem, is we're collecting items, we're collecting material, and it's being refined, but it's also being stored. Okay, no, oh wait, this is actually on the Rhino, so it was filling stuff up on the Rhino, that's how bad it got. Oh my goodness. As a process of the refining though, it'll take away some of the volume, so that's not a big deal, and the ice is getting used up. That's why I added the tanks. I wanted to turn as much of that ice into hydrogen as I possibly could, and these are nowhere near filled yet. That one's only at 11. The first 3, some of them might be filled. I think at least one of them might be filled, but the other 3 are nowhere near yet, so that'll use up a lot of ice. It's also using up a lot of power, which is partly why I wanted these solar panels. Anyway, we're going to take a trip over to the site that I just got started the other day where the silver and gold is, and we're just going to grab some of that by hand. I want to get some things done as far as I want to get a proper medical base somewhere, and I would prefer to have it on my main base, but I'm happy to, oh my goodness, misjudged that. Oops. To have it on any base, so long as I've got at least one. I can even swap them over if I wanted to have the survival kit on this base, the nickel magnesium mine. I think there's silicon there too, but I haven't seen a vein of that yet, and I'm not fussed because I've got so much silicon already. I really don't need the nickel either, which is why I didn't bother to extend the pistons more. I didn't bother to build more of them on top of the ones I already had to reach the rest of it. There's just no point. Magnesium on the other hand I'm going to need a lot of. Although, speaking of which, the reason I wanted to get so much magnesium was so I could fight some stuff. I don't know what I've done wrong. When I first set up the mod, the modular encounter spawner, I set it up, it's in the mod list, it's running as far as I know, but nothing's happening. I'm not getting any encounters whatsoever, and I can't figure it out. I'll have to look into that. I even went to the advanced settings to make sure that, you know, cargo ships was on, and random encounters and stuff like that. And I don't know if the mod is specifically switching that off. There we go. Park. Okay. So this is the area that I was going to to start mining, as you can see. I might even build it off in that direction, so it kind of maybe even potentially build it a little bit into the hillside, but it's not important. The main point was just to get this section here, and apparently there's some... oh dear, that's a broken femur. Gold. There's some gold right there. It's about 33 meters down. What was I talking about? The spawner? Yeah. But the mod keeps switching some of those features off. The only one that I can get to stay is drones. And I don't know that drones ever appear here in the atmosphere. The mod is supposed to generate, you know, other encounters in atmosphere. Is there another one that I need to add that I haven't added? Because I just added the one, the modular spawner encounter or whatever it's called. Maybe I just have to read the documentation a bit more and see if I missed a step or something like that. Anyway, here's the gold. I want to find some silver, so I'm going to wander around really quick and find it, and then I'm just going to drill it. Better yet, I think what I'll do is I'll use the rhino. I'll use its ore detector to see if I can find a close a section that's close to the surface. There's lots of gold around, which is nice, but I need silver to begin with. There's some silver right there. Let's see if there's a closer one closer to the surface. Gold, 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 silver, silver, silver. Here we go. Let's stop there. Where is it? Oh, did I leave the antenna off on this thing? I probably did, didn't I? I did. That's okay. Gold, silver. Ooh. So why is it that gold is so close to the surface and silver is not? Is that considered to be more valuable in the game? I don't know. Here we go. Alright. Let's disconnect. Back it up. So yeah, we're swapping out the orc for the rhino. So we can get some more ore. Well, she's ugly, but oh no, I actually really like it. I think there's something about, you know, the pride you take in something you've made. I don't know, maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, but yeah, I do like it. I'm just gonna roll right over this hole here. That way, when I emerge, I can just drop the stuff right in there. So yeah, I've drilled this large hole that sort of started to curve around at one point, and then I got kind of impatient, so I just started drilling down. Gotta be careful how I get down here though, because it could kill me easily. I've also got to be careful of my hydrogen, because I might end up getting stuck down here. Here we are. This is the silver mine. Oh, there it is. For a second I didn't know how to get out. Alright. Well, I'm going to leave it here because I'm running out of time, and really all I'm going to be doing is refining the silver. I mean, collecting it, refining it, and then turning it into medical components. It's the big reason I got the silver anyway. I am going to need to get some gold for superconductors, but that's going to take a little bit longer. What the heck? Oh, these connectors are still full of stuff. Oh well. I can still get quite a decent ton of this stuff here. In fact, there's what, 15 trips worth? Yeah, I'm not going to make you sit here through 15 trips of that. So what we're going to do is we'll leave it here. Let's get a nice... Where are we? This is the base. So it's over in a this way direction. Whoop! Oh my! Gotta slow it back down again. Can you guys hear that? That like sort of howling sound? Is that just me? You probably can't if the music's on, but yeah, it's just like off in the distance howling, and it's like I don't have Cyberwolves on, and that's disconcerting. Anyway, I think I'll probably make this my screenshot. I just gotta remove the crosshair. I'll do that in a second. But for now, I'm gonna leave it here. Sorry it's been a bit of a mining spree these last few episodes, but it's also got to be done if we want to get the resources. And I hopefully will be able to work on the plan I have for this mine, which isn't too spectacular. It basically combines the drill ideas that I've had so far and trucks. So put those two things together and you'll probably have a good idea of what I'm going to do. But we'll take care of that next time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, comment if you want to, just say hey, or to let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to try and do different, or things you have, that, ideas you have that I can improve upon. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified of the new episodes as they come out. You all have a good one, and I'll see you on the other side.